Welcome to Daily Buzz News. Internal rifts have emerged within the ANC after Minister Pieter Groenewald ordered the shutdown of outsourced prison bakeries, a move that has angered party-linked entrepreneurs who relied on the contracts. The decision has ignited debate over political patronage, economic fallout, and the uncertain future of public-private partnerships in South Africa's correctional services.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is not just the opening of a bakery. No, this moment is much bigger, much deeper, and much more meaningful than cutting a ribbon and taking a few photos. It is, right here, a turning point. It is an honor to stand here today, because what has happened within these walls is not charity, not a publicity stunt, but something that carries real weight for the people of South Africa. This bakery is a symbol of hope, discipline, dignity, and most importantly, fairness at work for the taxpayers who keep this country alive. Step inside, and you will find something extraordinary. Imagine the smell of fresh bread filling the air, the ovens glowing with heat, and the sound of workers, not ordinary employees, but prisoners, carefully kneading the dough with their bare hands. Every single day, approximately 3,840 loaves of bread will emerge from these ovens. That's 480 loaves of bread every hour. Bread that will feed communities, prisons, and even taxpayers who often feel forgotten. But it's not just about bread. It's about change. The 50-odd prisoners aren't standing idle, wasting their years behind cold bars. They're here, sweating, learning, rotating shifts, gaining skills, achieving something much more than just food, a second chance. Because here's the twist. When their sentences are over, when the doors finally open, these people won't return to society empty-handed. They won't just carry their prison bags. They'll carry a certificate, proof of their hard work, proof of their skills, proof that they're worth more than their past mistakes. And with that certificate comes opportunity, a chance to reconnect, to work, to earn, to live differently, a chance to step into the world, not as a burden, but as a contributor. This bakery isn't just baking bread, it's baking the future. Every loaf of bread is more than a meal. It's a lesson, a skill, a possibility. And for taxpayers, it means something powerful. Rehabilitation means reduced recidivism. Skills mean less unemployment. And efficiency means millions saved for people who really deserve it. You, the citizens of South Africa. So when I say it's an honor to open this bakery today, I mean it, because it's not just about ovens and loaves of bread. It's about rewriting stories. It's about reshaping lives. And it's about proving that even behind prison walls, redemption can be real. It's being called a double victory. For the prisoners, it's the promise of rehabilitation. For the taxpayers, it's almost a 3 million saved, money returned from a system that has bled citizens dry for decades. At first glance, it seems like a good headline, the kind of story politicians like to parade around. Smiling faces, certificates in hand, piles of bread towering high like symbols of progress. But scratch beneath the surface, step beyond the neatly staged images, and you realize that something bigger is brewing somewhere. South Africa isn't just warming up with good news, it's boiling. And this time, the fire is political, blazing in parliament, engulfing party corridors, and setting off alarms in the highest offices in the land. Phones are ringing nonstop, tempers are erupting. Closed-door meetings go on until the early hours of the morning. Because today, one man, Minister Pieter Groenewald, has taken a step so bold, so disruptive that the entire ruling party is stumbling in disbelief. This is not a ripple in the pond. It's an earthquake, a political jolt shaking foundations that many thought were untouchable. Groenewald has just closed the door on every single outsourced prison business in South Africa. Yes, you heard that right. Bakeries, farms, manufacturing units, gold mines hidden behind prison walls for decades, all gone overnight. And that's where the story takes a turn for the scandalous. For years, these outsourced operations have been going on under the shiny banner of rehabilitation and skills development. On paper, it looked great. Inmates baking bread, sewing uniforms, preparing meals, gaining experience. But behind those prison walls, another reality thrived. Few dared to say it out loud. These weren't just operations. They were cash cows, silent money machines. Day after day, loaves of bread rolled in. Food was packaged. Products were shipped. And money flowed in with every crate that left the prison doors. Not just in government accounts, but in other pockets. The pockets of well-connected families, political allies, brokers who have never seen inside of a prison cell, but have made a fortune from these people. For years, whispers of corruption have been floating around like smoke. Open tenders, fat contracts, Allegations of cover-ups at shell companies. Names of political relatives are appearing on procurement lists. And through it all, the same pattern. Money moved, prisoners toiled, and those in power looked the other way. Because in South Africa, once the money tap is turned on, it rarely ever turns off. Until today. Because today, Pieter Groenewald reached out and grabbed the tap and turned it off. Pieter Groenewald did something no one expected. He didn't negotiate, he didn't stall, he didn't hide behind committees. He went straight into the shadowy empire, looked it dead in the eye, and said with a snarl, "Not anymore. No more high-priced outsourcing deals that drain the state dry. No more secret deals to feed the powerful few while citizens suffer. No more middlemen siphoning off millions while taxpayers beg for relief." His message was sharp, brutal, and impossible to misinterpret. Prisons would run their own industries. Prisoners would work. And the endless bleeding of public money would finally stop. At first, no one believed him. Ministers laughed behind closed doors. Senior ANC figures smiled and dismissed him with arrogance. "Impossible," he sneered. "Too many hands in the pot. Too many people eating from this plate." No one, not even Groenewald, would dare to pull the plug. But then it happened. Orders were signed in ink that felt like blood on the page. Some decades-old contracts were broken in days. Outsourced businesses that had been quietly thriving for years were gone overnight. And the effect? Like a crack inside Parliament. You could see it in their faces. Ministers, red with anger, struggled to maintain their grip. Phones are ringing frantically as panic calls come in from all directions. Senior MPs are scurrying to the corridors like men who have been poisoned, whispering angrily in dark corners. The air itself is thick with disbelief and rage. Because let's be clear, this wasn't just a change in bureaucratic policy. This wasn't routine paperwork. This was a dagger that went straight to the heart of a network that had been quietly feeding and growing for decades, hidden from public view. And here's the part that makes it deadly serious. Many of these prison businesses were never about rehabilitation. They were about power. They were lifelines, cash pipelines that fed politically connected companies. They were hidden salaries for insiders, job schemes for relatives, secret income streams for the powerful. Entire chains of influence were woven around them. And in one ruthless move, Groenewald cut every single line. Do you think the people who overthrew the system, who lived on this hidden empire, are going to clap their hands in gratitude? No chance. The backlash has begun. Behind closed doors, meetings continue until dawn. Promises are whispered. Threats are made. Desperate deals are made in hushed tones. Lawyers sharpen their arguments. Legal challenges are being prepared like war plans. The war rooms of politics are filling with smoke. For here is the cruel law of South African politics. When the money stops, the knives come out. Loyalties that seemed unshakable are broken within hours. Allies turn into enemies. Accusations fly like bullets. And when the smoke clears, someone always falls. So now, the nation stands divided, holding its breath, asking a burning question. Backhand index pointing right, is Pieter Groenewald a hero who is bravely cutting the strings of corruption to save taxpayers billions? Backhand index pointing right. Or is he a reckless villain, destabilizing the system and daring the most powerful people in the country to destroy it? To some, Pieter Groenewald is not just a minister. He is a rare kind of leader, a man who dares to put the brakes on wasteful spending, a man who is not afraid to rip up the comfortable deals that politicians like to hide behind. To his supporters, he is a reformer, a crusader, perhaps even the first leader in years who truly believes that prisons should serve justice and rehabilitation, not the bank accounts of political patrons. But to his critics, he is reckless. They say he is naive, blinded by the power he has just challenged. Some whisper that he is arrogant. Others warn that he is dangerous. Because when you blow on the beast that has been quietly feeding for decades, you better be ready for it when it bites again. And trust me, this beast bites hard. What Groenewald has done is undeniable. He has lifted the lid on a pot that has been simmering in silence for years. The steam, the whispers, the rumors, all there, all hidden. But now, the lid is off, and the kitchen isn't just simmering. It's on fire. Flames are licking the walls. Smoke is filling the room. Alarms are screaming. The system can't contain it anymore. Mark my words, what we're seeing now is not the end. It's not even the middle. It's just the opening scene of a political drama that could shake the government to its core. The anger we're seeing today, the frustration, the threats, the late-night phone calls, is just the beginning. The real storm hasn't even arrived yet, because here's what's coming. Scandals that were buried deep will come to light. Secrets kept for decades will burst like broken dams. Documents will be leaked. Names will be exposed that no one has mentioned before. And fingers will be pointed, not just at Groenewald, but at everyone who stood near the money tap. And when it does, it won't just be about prison deals. It will become a battle for survival. A battle that could redefine the balance of power in South Africa itself. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Is Pieter Groenewald a hero this country desperately needs? Someone bold enough to ignite the web of corruption? Or has he just lit a fuse that will explode into the biggest political war South Africa has ever seen? Because make no mistake, what comes next won't just make headlines.
Thanks for watching.